This is the facelifted Skoda Karoq. What's new about this compact crossover? And why does it have an underlight? Watch this to find out.
The Skoda Karoq is an MQB-platform-based compact crossover which slots between the smaller Kamiq and the larger Kodiaq. Within the VW group, its closest siblings are the Seat Ateca and the VW T-Roc. And instead of the expected Karoq RS, we are given the Cupra Ateca. On the outside, the Karoq is also quite similar to the Mark I Volkswagen Tiguan. And like the T-Roc, also the Karoq is one of the few remaining models which haven't received the new terrible VW infotainment system. Have you tried using it in the Mark 8 Golf? It's horrible.
And now it's time for useless trivia. Skoda sold around 570,000 Karoqs, most in style trim like this one, and the lesser ambition trim, 42% and 40% respectively. The sporty sport line added up to 16% of sales, while the bottom dollar Active and the off-roady Scout versions, offered in some markets, sold about 1% each. Hence, Skoda decided to focus on the three main lines: ambition, style and sport line.
What changed? Skoda worked on Karoq's aerodynamics. The grille with an underbite is one of those elements which give the Karoq a drag coefficient of 0.30. There are also new headlights, and the lower part of the bumper is also new. In case of the 1.0 TSI engine, there are even active flaps to keep the engine at the optimum temperature. From the side, changes revolve mainly around the wheels. Get it? There are new aerodynamic wheel designs. In the rear, the new smaller lamps and an extended spoiler. The refreshed Karoq also features a large Skoda sign running across the tailgate. I suppose the Skoda logo may be somewhat unfamiliar in non-European markets.
And the tailgate still looks ever so slightly misaligned, although not as bad as on the pre-facelift car. Let's look inside the boot. The volume hasn't changed. It's still 521 litres, slightly more if you go for the VarioFlex sliding rear seat and slide the seat forward. VarioFlex also features a boot cover which is attached to the tailgate, the kind that looks like Mazda uses on its SUVs. Here you just get a parcel shelf which doesn't fit flat on the floor, so even if you choose the optional double floor, you'll still have to ditch this somewhere if you want to transport larger items. By the way, this is an all-wheel drive model, so underneath this here floor and this here cover which says mini spare, there is no mini spare. But you get levers to fold the seats in the second row, and that's something that wasn't available with VarioFlex, because over there you have to fold every seat separately from the passenger side. There is no Simply Clever flashlight here. This is my light actually, and there are these big hooks that, I don't know, you can hang your laundry on or something if you travel and you get caught in the rain. A quick housekeeping note. I'm here to make car reviews for you and not to chase the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate you liking, subscribing and putting on the notifications and things, but that doesn't always do the trick. This is why I have a newsletter which I encourage you to subscribe to. That way you'll get notifications about new videos straight to your inbox. No spam, just new videos. Link in the description. In the pre-facelift Karoq, I showed you the VarioFlex seats, which were somewhat cumbersome to fold. However, from a time's perspective, I see how they could be useful with the middle section sliding forward so that an older child or an adult could sit comfortably without arms touching the two child seats here on the side in the rear position. If one of you has a Karoq with VarioFlex and is using it like I just said, let me know if this is as convenient as I think it is.
The legroom and the headroom are fine. There is an air vent and a 12-volt socket. Beside the two standard rear ISOFIX anchor points, you can order a Simply Clever family pack, which includes an ISOFIX point on the front passenger seat as well. The door pockets are deep, and there is also an armrest with cup holders. Behind the armrest is a ski hatch. Doors cover the sills, but in order to shut the doors properly, I need to slam them harder than I'd like. In the Kodiaq, I blamed it on retractable door edge protector Simply Clever thing, but it seems it's just poor assembly.
Changes in the cockpit are barely noticeable. The virtual cockpit is part of one of the tech packs that have something to do with the sat-nav. Without it, you can still have analog dials. Now, I don't mind the screen as such, but I'm unable to learn the logic behind the Skoda's menus. I guess it's something that you'll learn. Give it some time.
The Amundsen infotainment system has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you set whatever you need once, and then you don't need to use it too often. Big up for leaving a physical volume knob. Physical buttons and knobs for the AC are also a nice touch, and these days I'd choose Skoda over VW just for that. This test car gets an automatic gearbox, so no problem with elbow hitting the drinks in the cup holder when shifting gears. By the way, 65% of Karoq buyers pick the DSG over a manual transmission.
The seats are very comfortable and the door pockets are cavernous. Storage under the armrest can be expanded if you remove the cup holders. The glove box is average size. Now, the upholstery is partly from recycled materials. I hope it's also easy to clean because the previous reviewers have left some disconcerting stains.
If you're wondering what about the comfort of vertically challenged drivers, my partner Anna is 160 centimeters tall, that's 15 centimeters shorter than me. From my sitting position, she needs to slide the seat forward and adjust the steering column and the rearview mirror as well. No need to raise the seat. We both find the seats comfortable and we both see well outside. All three main Karoq trims get lumbar support adjustment on both front seats, and power seats with memory function are available as part of a convenience package on higher trims.
So far, a majority of buyers chose Karoqs with petrol engines. The 115 horsepower 1-liter TSI and the 1.5-liter 150 horsepower TSI engines remained. The Sportline also gets a 2-liter TSI with 190 horsepower DSG and all-wheel drive. Skoda ditched the 1.6-liter diesel 115 horsepower, and now the 2-liter diesel is available either with 115 or 150 horsepower. The latter can be had with DSG and all-wheel drive, and this is the car I'm reviewing today.
There are several drive modes to choose from, but there is no off-road mode as such. The most adventurous mode is snow, but I'll start my diagonal approach test in comfort mode. I stop halfway and try to get moving again. It's clear there is a lot of spinning on the left front wheel, which is up in the air, but no drama. The car gets up the incline just fine. The second attempt is in snow mode. In this mode, the traction control allows even more slippage, but in the end, it feels and looks pretty much the same. The third attempt is in snow mode, but with traction control off. From the outside it looks identical, but from behind the wheel it felt easier than the previous two attempts.
By By the way, all-wheel drive models have 4 millimeters greater ground clearance. That's 168 millimeters greater than the front-wheel drive, and as a result, their approach and departure angles are slightly better than on front-wheel drive versions. Here, the approach angle is almost 19 degrees, and the departure angle is just over 20 degrees, if that makes any difference to you. But something tells me your Karoq will spend most of the time on dry tarmac, where you'll appreciate relatively good soundproofing and pretty much a frugal 2-liter diesel. Skoda claims this car should use between 5.6 and 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers combined. On the motorway at 120 kilometers per hour, you'll be using around 6 liters, and at 140 kilometers per hour, around 7 liters per 100 kilometers. The fuel tank volume is 50 liters, regardless of the engine variant.
And since we're talking performance, Skoda says this car should do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.8 seconds. Even in sport mode, I never managed to get less than 9.3 seconds. Possibly I'd have to activate the launch control, which probably requires disabling the ESP or putting it in sport setting, regardless of the sport mode for the engine and the transmission. The suspension is good enough, and so is the visibility. Driver aids in Skodas are improving. I remember in the pre-facelift Kodiaq, I was complaining about the active lane assist, asking me to keep my hands on the wheel, even though I was holding it. Here, it's much better.
There doesn't seem to be much else to say about the Karoq except for the fact it's not a very exciting car. But then it's not supposed to be. It's a comfortable commuter, and this is what it does best. And if you are looking for excitement in the same package, well, the Cupra Ateca should tickle your fancy.
Prices of the refreshed Skoda Karoq start at €26,320 for the Active trim, about $2,000 more than when it debuted. This test car in style trim with a 2-liter diesel, DSG and all-wheel drive has only 3 optional extras: paint, the Amundsen Tech Pack, and the travel assist without side assist because semiconductor shortage and stuff. The grand total is €43,900.
The Skoda Karoq is a sensible choice for people who aren't looking for cutting-edge tech, but who like to have some choice of equipment. Back in the day, I thought the Mark I Tiguan was the best crossover out there, and today I'd strongly recommend you look at the Karoq. And how do you like the Skoda Karoq? Let me know in the comment section below.
If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.